I'd like to call the town council meeting Wednesday, October the 1st, in session. Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb.
Here.
Ms. Quetch. Here. Ms. Pillion.
Here.
Vice Mayor Austin.
Present.
And Mayor Anderson.
Here. Now, Ms. Billion, will you lead us in the Pledge of
I
Allegiance?
certainly will. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we're going to have Tyler Vinsel come up and lead us in the prayer. If everyone will please rise. Good evening, Tyler.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and pray for you guys tonight. Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we want to pause in this moment just to give you honor and glory for the day that we had and for the opportunity to gather and to ask that you give us wisdom and guidance and the council and the wisdom and guidance in their governance of our community, community that we love and that you've placed us in for such a time as this, that we're here to serve and to love the people that live here and help us to make wise decisions. And God, continue to bless our town and the people that are in it, and bless this council and all the folks that work for the town and the staff, the incredible work that they do. God, we're thankful for them, each and every single one of them, and we love you, and we thank you, and we praise you. It's in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
Now, if we will have an approval of the agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch. Aye. Ms. Pillion.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye.
And Mayor Anderson.
Aye. Also have approval for the minutes of the September the 2nd, 2025 meeting. Anybody would like to make a motion on that?
There are a couple of very minor changes that I would suggest to these. First of all, on page, it's like, I believe, page 3, where we were discussing the 8-week road closure for Thompson Drive and Stanley Street. And it says, during the time school should be added in there, is out, and school recommences in 2026.
Okay.
And then on 2 pages over, where we're talking about consideration of the Planning Commission Certificate of Appropriateness, that I made a motion to reverse. And we need to take and hold out. We need to just say to reverse the decision of the Planning Commission. That's all.
Thank you.
And I make a motion to approve the minutes with those small changes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Just let the record reflect I was absent for that meeting.
Yes,
So
sir.
abstain.
Yes, sir. Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb.
Abstain.
Ms. Quetch. Aye. Ms. Pillion.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye.
And Mayor Anderson.
Aye. And I guess we'll make them approval for, was that the September the 18th meeting, Mayor Austin?
No.
That was the second.
That was just the first set. The September 18th.
The September the 18th, was that the one?
A couple of small changes also under first reading of ordinances. The next page, I said I was not in favor of waiving, W-A-I-V-I-N-G. And then in the last part where it says wavering, it needs to be waiving of the second reading.
Okay.
At the bottom of the page, it says, or not, they should pass. I believe we need to put a period there and strike the "and if they should."
Kim, are you seeing where he's at, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, under consideration of bids, item K, we talked about and did approve the consideration of the bids for the muster grounds rehab. And I'd like to add the paragraph where it says a proposal reading was conducted on August 6th. I think we need to add at the end of that paragraph, time is of the essence and will be included in the contract. As we discussed, time being very important in the performance of that contract.
That's a good point. Yes, sir, we did. Thank you for pointing that out, Vice Mayor Austin.
Those are all the changes I would suggest, and with that, I would move we approve those minutes as modified.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
She beat me.
Sorry.
No, she got it.
Any further discussion? Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Ms. Pillion?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin?
Aye.
And Mayor Anderson.
All right. Now we will open the floor to public comment. And with that being said, please note that when you come up, please state your first name and your last name and your full mailing address. And the first one signed up for public comment tonight will be Mr. Greg Lilly. If you'll come forward, please state your first and last name and your mailing address, please.
Thank you. My name is Greg Lilly. I'm at 244 Valley Street, Northeast, Abington, Virginia, 24210. I would like to speak to the broadband franchise agreement for IGO. As I look through that, and it's not specific really to this vendor or anyone else, something just jumped out at me that has been bothering me. In August, we were stringing more cables along our utility poles on Valley, and I went and looked out my window and counted 21 cables going across the road. I know we want to keep the historic district looking nice, so we seem to have a lot of debris up above the roads. So when I was looking at this franchise agreement, and it's in your packet on page 51, there is an item 2.12, discontinuance or removal of network facilities. And in the middle of that paragraph, it says, alternatively, if mutually agreed by franchisee and municipality, such network facilities, like the cables, may be abandoned in place. I think that's something we need to look at. Abandoning cables in place means we have 21 cables going up and down Valley. And I know they're not all being used. So my suggestion is, if somebody could look at that and say, what happens when things are outdated, or if a vendor goes away, do we just let them hang there? Or do we have the vendor, before they leave, take them down? I'm just hoping to get this cleaned up a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Next person signed up for public comment will be Mr. Josh Fuller. Josh Fuller, if you'll come forward, please, and state your first and last name and your mailing address, please, sir.
Hello, my name is Josh Fuller. Mailing address is 279 East Main Street, Abington, Virginia. I represent two businesses here in town, the Tavern as well as Dwayne & Company. I understand part of the agenda tonight is looking at the town noise ordinance. The two businesses that I represent, we're grateful and thankful that we are on track to collect somewhere between $250,000 to $300,000 in mills tax for the town. That being said, $40,000 to $50,000 worth of that mills tax is actually coming from our late night service that we're now currently running for the last couple of months. That being said, mills taxes are great, and we're happy to do that for the town. And I do believe the town and all the restaurants are there to support each other. What's really important to me is wages for the staff that I represent. Between those two restaurants, there's somewhere around 50 people. The wages for those Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights surpass $10,000 a month. I would like to think that those wages are what's allowing families to pay their rent, send their kids to travel ball, cheer camp, fix their cars, and be a contributing member in their restaurant scene. Those extra profits also allows both businesses to be very charitable. You know, we have supported numerous charities, different golf events. You know, I know this last week we supported Shriner Circus as well. I think the noise ordinance as it stands, being to midnight, I do agree that there can be some issues with that time frame. You know, I know a large part of our community works Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. That being said, I know other than mixed-use businesses, the noise ordinance is 11 p.m. I guess my offer that I would like to point out there as a good compromise, maybe Sunday through Thursday, we rescind that current mixed-use noise ordinance back to 11 o'clock, while also leaving Friday and Saturday at midnight. I think that compromise would allow businesses to still thrive. I think it would allow all the families and workers that are in the restaurants to still be able to leave with good compensation, and would allow us to really be able to move forward and hopefully solve any of the problems with any hard feelings of neighbors or anything like that. I appreciate your all's time, and again, thank you for all you all do.
Thank you, Josh. I don't think we have anyone else signed up for public comment, so we'll close public comment at this time. We have no proclamations, no public hearings today. We have resolutions, and we have several resolutions tonight. The first resolution will be a resolution supporting the application for the grant of the Trigg Street Sewer Extension, and we'll have Town Manager Mike Cochran explain that to us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. There was an opportunity to put in for a grant from the Tobacco Commission, and it's to pay for engineering studies. What happens when you apply for certain types of grant funding, they always want projects that are shovel-ready, and then you'll get reimbursed for a lot of your expenses. But in order to get things shovel-ready, sometimes you got to have these studies done. And so the Tobacco Commission is a grant out there with requires a 50% match. And for this grant, it's $118,238.50. The nice thing with this one is that the Wellspring Foundation has offered to match on our behalf. So we're applying for 118 in funding, and then they will match it with 118. And what this is to do is there's some economic activity opportunities along Trigg Street, and there's also a lot of failing septics along Trigg Street. And this goes from Nicholas down towards the interstate, and it would allow that area to have additional services. And so that's what this is to study. It's just the engineering of it, but again, it's little bits at a time. So we had the initial part where we knew it was undersized. Now this will tell us what it would look like to do it the right way. And then once we get that, then we can seek funding to actually get it built.
Does anyone on council have any questions for Town Manager Mike Cochran? With that being asked, is this something that we would like to go ahead and put in a motion for?
I'd make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Ms. Pillion?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin?
Aye.
And Mayor Anderson.
Aye. And the second on our resolution tonight is going to be a resolution arguing the state investment of the Virginia Area Agency on Aging. And again, we'll have Mike Cochran talk to us about this.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. We were contacted by the District 3 Governmental Cooperative, and as I think you sit on their board.
I sit on that board, yes,
Yeah,
I do.
and they've had some funding, just some changes in their funding streams, and what they were asking for is a resolution to support that they would get funding from the state's physical budget. And as you know, in this area, I mean, there's just we have a lot of people with a lot of life experience, and they rely heavily on the District 3 for services and whatnot, between the busing and just the things that they do for our older folks in town. So this is just trying to see if we can help get support for their funding.
And as Mike Cochran says, I stand on that District 3 board. I'm there every other month. I see the needs and the wants of the older population in our community, not only in our community, Southwest Virginia as well. And I really think that this is something that we should support, that I stand strongly on. And does anybody have any questions for me or Mike Cochran about this? If not, would someone like to make a motion on this?
I'll make the motion to accept the resolution.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Ms. Pillion?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin?
Aye.
Mayor Anderson?
Aye. All right, we have no first reading of ordinance tonight. We do have several second readings of ordinance this evening. The first will be the ordinance to adopt Chapter 34 Fire Prevention Code Protection, Article 3 Fire Prevention Code, Section 34 through 57, pre-blast rules and regulations. And with that being said, I'll turn it over to Mike Cochran again.
Yes, this is, it's intact from the last time we looked through it. The fire chief had to be out they had a situation a couple cities over he's helping out with.
Yes, sir.
So he's unable to be here to present on this. This is just, he acts as the fire marshal, and in that capacity, he oversees the blasting. And what this does, this calls for the notifications based on distance from blast sites. And, you know, as we recently learned, I mean, the companies, when they do the blasting, it's very heavily regulated, and they do a lot of their own work. This just verifies or makes it incumbent upon us to make sure that it gets done. Normally, the companies that insure them make them do it. This just allows us, in the unlikely event that somebody didn't do it by being compelled by their insurance company, the fire marshal has the authority to go ahead and make them do it now as part of the ordinance. So it's just about getting people aware of what's happening and stuff like that.
Does anyone have any questions for Mike Cochran about this?
I continue to think that it is important, as I think council has recognized before, that homeowners be advised if there's going to be blasting on or near their property. And I'm very much in favor of an ordinance to require that. I think this ordinance goes far enough, but however, we can always revisit it later if we don't feel like it does. But at this point in time, I certainly am in favor of this ordinance and would move that we approve it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Ms. Pillion?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin?
Aye.
And Mayor Anderson?
Aye. Next on the agenda is going to be the ordinance to amend Chapter 30, Environment, Article 2, Noise, Section 30 through 31 and 30 through 33, amending language concerning explanation. And I'm going to turn it over to Mike Cochran again as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Again, this is the second read on the noise ordinance, and the essence on this one is it changes it from 30.1 it used to say mixed use area, and that doesn't match with our language, so it's down to mixed use parcel because that's what we're talking about is the actual parcel of property. And then on the times, instead of it ending at midnight, it would end at 11 p.m. And that, as it currently reads, is for all 7 days of the week. And that's the only two changes. Is that right? From the existing ordinance.
Does anyone have any questions for Mike Cochran on the noise ordinance?
As I always do, I always solicit town residents and citizens to talk with me about their thoughts and feelings regarding proposals that are coming before the council. And Mr. Lilly, who's present here tonight, is really good at doing that, and I appreciate him doing that. He pointed out in an email to me, and I guess I'm asking Mr. Bale this question. He pointed out 30-32 of the town code saying prohibited acts in the town, such as noise, such as radio, television, musical instruments, etc., is prohibited between the hours of 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. How does that affect, Mr. Bell, the ordinance that we are looking at tonight?
I think that, I don't have 3032 in front of me, I don't think, but I think 3033 is an exemption to 3032, so basically 3033 overrides 3032 is the
Okay.
answer to that. That these are exemptions from the ordinance itself. So there's 3032 is the broad ordinance, 30-33 is the exemptions from the ordinance. So that's how it would apply.
So 3033 is making it more specific and limiting it as set forth.
Well, it is excluding things from the coverage of it. So for instance,
Okay.
sound amplification equipment, ordinarily you wouldn't be able to, you'd have to do things with a permit, but if we're doing it for public parks or recreation fields, then that's exempt from the noise ordinance. Or clock chimes, bells, and music played for calls of worship are exempt from the ordinance. So that's how it applies. This very specific thing, if you remember sort of back to how this particular A9 got enacted, was to a very specific piece of property, and through the comprehensive plan and lots of other things, that not only just an area, a zoning district that had mixed uses, but a
Right.
particular parcel that had, for instance, a business on the bottom floor and residential above it, which there are several throughout the town, but not as many as would be in, for instance, this wouldn't be just allowed in just the HPRB, just the Old and Historic District itself. It would only be allowed in mixed-use parcels, and so that's the change before. But this is a specific exception to the overriding noise
Okay.
ordinance.
Okay.
So you couldn't just have at your house somebody play music until 11 o'clock at night of one of your neighbors. It would have to be a specific exception beyond that for it to apply.
Well, let me say that I personally, I've listened for, I guess, the last 3 meetings with homeowners, with business leaders in our town. I listened very intently tonight, and it certainly is a difficult proposition, and I sit here, as I always do, and try to search for some sort of a compromise between the two positions, because I certainly understand the homeowner's position in terms of wanting to get rest, and in terms of feeling that their quiet enjoyment of their home is being disturbed. And I also understand and really appreciate their business leaders and caring for the community and the money that they generate from the taxation of this type of situation. The word was used, I think, 3 meetings ago when this first came before us, of a balance and a balancing act. And I suppose that's the same as the compromise that I mentioned a moment ago. I'm not sure exactly what the right compromise is. I'll be frank with you. I mean, I want to, as we discussed with our exchange students a little bit earlier tonight, we want to learn to disagree better, and we also want to learn to compromise, and we understand we can't please everyone all the time. And this is one of those situations that we're faced with as a council. So I just voiced those concerns, and I voiced how I feel about it, and trying to reach some sort of a balance there.
I have one question. I would have to exclude myself from this motion because I have,
I think that would be a good idea.
yes, sir, but I do have a question, if that's okay, about this ordinance. If this ordinance was to take place today and we were to vote this ordinance in, would it start tomorrow? Would it start next week? Because like I said, we have things on the calendar, on the books that are already in the works for this week and maybe throughout the rest of this month.
Typically, I'll just address all
Yes.
ordinances. We used to have it delayed enforcement, but many councils ago, it was changed to be enacted immediately.
Acted immediately.
That's how we typically do it, isn't it?
Can we not delay the implementation of it, though? Is that still available to us?
Sure.
Yeah.
We
could delay the implementation.
I'm just saying, speaking as, being part
Yes,
of
sir.
something that's in question with this ordinance, for the month of October, today is the 1st of October, we have scheduling that we've already done months ahead, and, this could, jeopardize what we've got going on
Yes, sir.
with the people that are entertainment that we have coming in. So I just want a brief clarification of,
It can be implemented whenever the council votes for it to be
You
implemented.
know, and-
Lately, the way that council has been adopting it, it's been applicable immediately. But it used to routinely not take effect for 30 days or.
and that is something that me questioning as not being the mayor, as being part of, like I said, I'm gonna exclude myself from this. But, I think that there should be, if this goes into effect, as if we motion this in tonight, that, we should look at that as to say, hey, at least 30 days, and this will start in effect of.
November 1st. for
November the
example.
1st, yes, sir. Is that something that we could say, or?
Sure.
All right, well, with that being said, do we have a motion to amend the ordinance of Chapter 13, Environment, Article 2, Noise, Section 30 through 31, and 30 through 33, amending the language concerning explanation? Would someone like to make that motion?
And it's going to be 11 o'clock, right? Okay, I'll make that motion. I think this is a compromise. It was 12. They wanted 10. This is 11. It's a compromise.
And would you make part of your motion that delay the implementation until November 1st? Or how do you feel about that?
I don't have a problem with it, except that, I think it somewhat, it makes us look like we're showing favoritism.
Whatever you want the motion to say. The motion's on the floor.
I'm trying to view it as others would view it,
Are there other businesses that have outdoor music that may have already hired performers or situations also?
I would think so. I mean, you've got Brisket and Bourbon. They have live music out back. You've got
Delta Blue,
Delta
maybe?
Blues.
Yeah,
you know,
Adam,
so
Adam knows the scene pretty good.
I would imagine those are
Because I think that,
businesses that would have,
correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the point, is that they've already hired people to come, and so that's the issue.
I mean, we could
Uh,
just as easily table it till November
Yeah.
as opposed to taking action tonight if you don't want to put that disclaimer in there. I mean, I'm just throwing options out there.
Well, like I said, I'm going to exclude myself from this, and with me excluding myself, I'm going to do what I think is right and just step back, and I'm going to let Vice Mayor Austin go his role from here with until we pass on to the next,
Well, I think you can still act as the mayor, I just don't think that you can vote on it.
Yes, sir.
But however you want to do it, Donna, if you want to move forward with your motion, or you want to withdraw your motion and wait till next month, or Mr. Fuller had made another suggestion, but however you want to do it.
Wayne Austin, do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, I voiced, my thoughts on it. I recognize both sides of this, and I like the idea of a compromise in some fashion. And I had not heard discussed until Mr. Fuller came tonight and talked about doing it at 11 o'clock except on Friday and Saturday night. I had not heard that discussed, and there may be a lot of validity to that. I don't know.
One of the things the homeowner brought up that night, though, I think, was the fact that even getting up on Sunday morning for church, so that was brought up, so. Okay. That's it.
Everybody's looking at you.
I don't have strong enough feelings to second the motion is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how you
I
all
would
feel.
say I would second it if the exemption was put in, that it not be implemented until November 1st. Because people have paid money out, hired people to do things, and I think that's unfair. So it's your motion.
Okay.
Technically, we couldn't interfere with existing contract relations anyway, right, Mr. Austin?
That's exactly right.
Okay, well, I'll make that
It's
motion.
called tortious interference.
It will
isn't it?
start,
Well,
I'll
I
make
think
the
it's
motion that
unconstitutional,
it stay at 11, but we'll start in November 1st.
I would second that.
Any further discussion? Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Ms. Pillion.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye.
And Mayor Anderson.
Sustained. Now we'll move on to the third reading of the ordinance authorizing and directing the town manager to execute the point of presence to lease agreement between the town and IGO Technology Incorporated for the installation of the vault, length 48 inches by width 30 inches by depth 2 inches, to go in place of the GPON fiber distribution cabinet measuring height 35 inches by width 33 inches by depth 18.5 inches, located at Munchkin Park, 353 Clark Street, Abingdon, Virginia, on the northeast corner behind the restroom facility along the northeast side of the building. Mike Cochran, I'll turn that over to you.
Yes, so IGO is a cable or a fiber provider, and they're running cable out towards the coal fields, and they needed it's called a point of presence. It's a box that will be attached to the side or the rear of the restrooms at Munchkin Park, and they needed that in order to just affect their cable distribution. And they also had interest from some folks in town, which is why the next item is up. But it's really not big at all. It's like you read the measurements, but it's less than 2 feet deep, 33 by 35. It's really not a big item. But the whole idea is you have to have it in order to be able to spin off or to run lines to customers.
Does anybody have any questions for Mike Cochran or about this ordinance? Now I'm going to ask, would anyone like to put this in motion?
I feel like the box is discreet enough, as described. I'll make a motion to authorize it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Ms. Pillion.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye.
And Mayor Anderson.
Aye. And the next will be an ordinance granting the franchise agreements to IGO Technology Incorporated to operate and maintain the telecommunication systems in the town of Abingdon. And again, I'll turn that over to Mike Cochran to speak about that.
Yes, again, they're running fiber into going out towards Russell County and further. And they have permission to be on the lines from the power company. And you know, as during the public comments, Mr. Lilly mentioned the item of stuff on the poles. It's a tough one to deal with. I've dealt with this a lot, just because the companies will abandon them. And then in 10 or 20 years, if you ever go to bury power lines, you got to find whoever owns that legacy, and it's a really hard thing to do. I'm not, you know, but it would be nice to have an additional fiber provider in town, because competition hopefully lends to better service for our residents, and hopefully at a more competitive rate.
Mr. Cochran, what about
Sir.
the possibility of requiring them to post a bond that the town would hold for the guarantee of the removal of the line in the event that they did discontinued use?
I think that's really great. That's a good question, because like Mr. Lilly was up here early talking, you know, we have lines now in my neighborhood that Sprint, AT&T, that are just no longer here anymore, but the process of getting those taken away, that's, you know, that's work to do.
Technically, the way the franchise is granted, they've bid on this franchise already with those specific things, and that bid has been taken in. I think we could probably, after we pass the ordinance, maybe negotiate with them to add that now. I don't know that we could do that sort of midstream without just rejecting the ordinance and starting over, since that's the bid that they responded with. As a practical matter, certain entities own the poles. So the companies you mentioned have all been absorbed into other companies. So CenturyLink, for instance, is that. They or Appalachian Power own most of the poles in town.
Okay.
The typical way that works is that you have a pole attachment agreement with somebody who puts the line on your pole. You don't allow some third party to put a line on your pole without collecting a pole attachment. So that provider, even if they've abandoned it, they're paying 30 times 10,000 to be in town. Typically, you're not going to let a dormant line that's not used for anything still stay on that line. So they're I don't doubt, Mr. Lilly, that right in the middle by the courthouse, for instance, that there are many, many lines for many, many things. I think it's probably not accurate to say that most of them, if not all of them, are still in use for something. Lots of people still have landlines at their house. Lots of us don't, but they still have to have wires running copper on those. Some people have
Totally
cable
understand.
television at their house, even though lots of people still don't have those things. So we are, what I think Mr. Lilly's point was, is we already have the right under the franchise agreement as it's written to require it to be removed. And like Mr. Cochran said, we just have to get to the bottom of somebody doing an inventory and paying a consultant to figure out who is on all those lines. But I don't, I think there is a procedural question I have to think through of where we are tonight, but I think that what you would approve already gives us the right to require that if there is a franchise that doesn't exist and those lines are still there, that we require that entity to remove them.
I'm not so sure it does. It says by mutual agreement of the franchisee and the municipality, they may abandon it in place.
Right.
So
Right, so
if they
I would
don't
think that
agree, I don't think we could require
Well,
that.
isn't that saying that we would have to agree to allow them to abandon it in place?
Right.
I mean, we could always, and probably for the situation that we're envisioning, you have to have a franchise to run a utility in the town. So if that franchise has expired, then we could tell them that they'd have no franchise and they have to remove all of their facilities. And I think that's in all of our franchise, all the standard franchise agreements too. So I think the agreement would have to be for us to agree that they can leave it, they can leave town and leave all their stuff here. So I think we have the right to, if they are leaving town, to require them to remove it.
Well, can we remove that abandoned in place?
Well, like Mr. Austin said, even if it's in there as written, the town would have to agree for them to abandon it without removing it when their franchise expires. So I'm not sure that we would need to change the language for it to be that way, but.
What if they decided to just to leave town and leave the lines in place? Yeah, we can say you need to remove those lines, but without, I mean, we don't have any way of really enforcing that.
Well, they
If we had a
would be.
bond in place, we could.
Right. And I'm not sure that they don't already have to have a bond of some sort, either with us or the utility commission. I just have to.
Then we would
I haven't
need to
looked at
make
that particular.
removal of the lines in that bond. Put that language in the bond.
Yeah, I just don't know off the top of my head what the answers to all those questions are, Mr. Austin, so I'd need to look at it. I mean, you can pass, obviously, what you want to pass, and we can look into it then, but those are the issues I see if we do it right now.
Well, I think it's worthy of having something in place for it to remove the lines.
I believe this gentleman, I don't think he's here tonight, is he?
I don't think he's here. I don't see him here
Said at the
tonight.
last meeting that there wasn't an immediate requirement that we pass this now, so do you want to pass it on and we can look into that and see if they're agreeable to it, then that makes it easy. But we'll see, one, if we have the right to do that, and two, how we would do that procedure.
Do you need a motion to table it, or?
Sure.
Yeah, well, just one bit, the franchises for them to sell to customers in town, they needed the pole attachment, or the one we just passed. That was so that they can attach and then run lines out, but I think they needed that. And Kevin, they needed the lines. You got a second?
Can you come forward, please, Mr. Kevin Blankenship?
Well, the POP is just the POP, and
Yeah.
the franchise is the franchise, so they couldn't operate without the franchise agreement. So the one that we're talking about now, they can't string up any lines yet. We're just,
I gotcha.
the ordinance we just passed for the POP is just a lease, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, just for them to actually be able to locate that lot.
Yeah, 'cause I think they were running lines, we're getting ready to run
If
lines.
you want to
but-
put Kevin on the spot, go ahead.
Yeah, no, he actually went out there and met with them, so, yeah.
Kevin, if you'll come to the mic and please state your first and last name and your mailing address and what you do for
Yeah.
just for the record, just for the record.
Yeah, so I'm Kevin Blankenship. Unfortunately, I live in Bristol, Tennessee.
That's fine.
Not everybody can live in that.
We know the position you hold.
Yeah,
We know where you work at.
Yeah, but you're exactly right. It's a fiber optic cable that they basically just need to place on the property for them to be able to do their splicing for their fiber optics and so forth to run. For the franchise piece should be for them to provide service to customers.
So if we wait on the one that's currently on the table, then we can look into the issues that you've asked about, and we can take it up next time.
Table for the month, or table for a week?
Just something that we would.
Table it until
Do you
the,
make a motion?
I said, do we need a motion? I'll be glad to make one if
so
we
you
do.
want to table it until
The work
first
session?
meeting of well, let's do it until November.
Okay, yeah. So I'd make that motion to table it till the first meeting in November.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion?
Thanks.
Kim, if you'll please call roll. Kevin, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Webb?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Ms. Pillion?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin?
Aye.
And Mayor Anderson.
Aye. Okay, that's going to move us to consideration of bids. We have no consideration of bids. The next on the agenda will be new business. We have a couple of things under new business. First will be a quarterly update from the tourism department. We'll get Ms. Blackburn to come forward, please. Looks like she's got her handy dandy crew with her today.
We travel.
Yes, ma'am. Glad to have you all here today.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for allowing us to be here, and council members. We definitely have a new look to tourism. Next slide, please. So, yeah, Adam Bolt, as most of you all know, he's our events and marketing coordinator. And after reading the town newsletter today, I see that he, this is his first year in August, right? Yep. Ashley Linkus is our new marketing manager, and she celebrated her first month of employment. And I'm Diana Blackburn, and in October, this is my second year. So next slide, please.
So we just want to give you a little bit of overview of what we've been doing, some of the things that have been that we've been working with. Our PR firm is Pineapple Public Relations. This is kind of a snapshot by the numbers for 2025. In 2025, we had 3.89 billion media impressions. So the work that they do, these are impressions, everything that we do, be it advertising, press releases, social media posts, these are things that come up visible to people, whether or not anybody engages with them. That's about a $108 million publicity value. So that's earned media. That's nothing that we pay for. Then the ad value equivalent, so if we had to pay for all of that, it'd be about $34.2 million. So that was for so far in 2025. We've had total placement coverages in 196 different placements, and that was 99 unique media outlets. Next slide, please. So from February to August, we hosted 4 press visits, and some notable outcomes from that. The Adventure Mom blog resulted in syndication on MSN and an audience reach of over 122 million. Some social media buzz from Adventure Mom. She shared 9 trip posts and to about 29,000 followers. And then one that we're really proud of, Okra Magazine. This feature positioned Abingdon as a culinary destination to Southern audience. And we do have a copy of that article that just came out this month, and I'll leave that here, and y'all can take a look at that. Next slide, please. So this is information, data supplied by Virginia Tourism Corporation, and this is just a snapshot of the 2024 Virginia Economic Impact data, and this is for Washington County. They can't just boil it down to the town of Abingdon. But just kind of some of the key highlights for this, $129 million in visitor spending. So that was up 1.2% over 2023. You'll see the bar graph down at the bottom, and you can look at the change over time since 2016. So, gradually increasing. Of course, 2020, there was a drop there. But visitor spending by category, and this is for year over year, 24 over 23. So we were up food and beverage, 1.1%. Lodging, that was about even. Transportation, it was down a bit. Recreation, 6.6% increase. Retail was down just a bit. Next slide, please. So these are visitors through the door. This data is collected by people actually walking through the doors at the Abingdon Visitor Center, the Creeper Trail Visitor Center, and Alvarado Station. So visitors through the door, we were up 9.2% at the Visitor Center in corner of Main and Cumming Street. The Virginia Creeper Trail Welcome Center up 32%. And then Alvarado Station, of course, we didn't start counting them until May of this year, but they're averaging about 3,200 people that come in the door at Alvarado Station.
And that's each month.
That's each month, yeah. Pretty impressive. Next slide, please. So where are the people that are coming in the door? Where are they coming from? We collect their zip codes. So we get a lot of people that come in from Abingdon, of course, Bristol, Tennessee, and Virginia. Concord, North Carolina, Hickory, Knoxville, then we've got a good deal that come from Cary and Apex area. We had 4 people, man and wife, and 2 children that were here from Switzerland today. Next slide, please. So this is looking at our website traffic and user behavior, and this is just in the last 90 days. So we have 62,000 new users coming to our website. So the average engagement is 1 minute and 31 seconds, which is pretty good considering how many times you go to the websites and how much time you really spend there. What they're looking at, homepage, our calendar event gets a lot of good hits. They want to know where to eat and drink and things to do. And then the town-wide yard sale We had a lot of views on that, so people are very interested in those events that we're doing here in town. Next slide, please. Where our website traffic is coming from, we have so many people from Abingdon, and then Nashville, and on down the line. Next slide, please. All right, and I'm going to turn it over to Ashley Linkus.
So I'm Ashley. I'm in my first month at the town today, exactly. And so I'm just going to go through some of our social media metrics over the last 90 days. This is for our Visit Abingdon, Virginia account specifically, and it's comparing to the previous 90-day period. As you'll see in the PowerPoint slide, lots of green, lots of trending up, which is good. There are a few areas where we are down a little bit, including the content interactions on Instagram being down 22.3%, which in my auditing that I've done of the account, I think could be contributed to less content being posted on Instagram than Facebook over the period. Could be a signal of why you're seeing less content interactions on that. But it is good that we see increases in our reach and profile visits across both accounts, as well as new followers on both accounts, indicating good health of our social media accounts. And I'm excited to continue growing those accounts as I get into my role. Next slide, please. And now that I am here with the town of Abingdon, really looking to roll out a new plan for social media. And so what's next for the town of Abingdon is I've been undertaking a really in-depth social media audit of our Visit Abingdon, Virginia accounts, seeing what we had done well, areas of improvement, things that we can change and just improve upon our past efforts. And then out of that, I've been building an updated social media strategic plan. And really excited to grow our social media presence over the coming years at the town. And I just wanted to highlight a few of the key objectives of that plan that I've been building over the past month. The first is a creative visual overhaul, working towards building a cohesive visual identity for the town accounts and a cohesive aesthetic on social media and in our grid. So when you instantly look at our profiles, you see, oh, that's Abingdon, you can tell. I also want to showcase niche experiences, go beyond just the main attractions, really get into our small businesses and stores and outdoor adventures, and really just tell the full story of Abingdon and the things that we offer for visitors. Short form video production, really ramp up the frequency of Instagram and Facebook Reels. These are high performing pieces of content that give us a better chance of growing our audience and had been just previously underutilized on our social media accounts. Also competitive positioning. I want to benchmark ourselves against our top competitors in the Southeast and Western North Carolina. We've seen that people from Concord, Apex, Hickory are all coming here, and so we're wanting to look at those competitors from where those people are and benchmark against those destinations and work into what they're doing with their content on their social media accounts into ours as well. Update photographic imagery, work to build out a large library of professional photographic content in-house, and then protect the brand. Possibly the most important thing in this strategic plan is to implement quality standards to ensure consistency and strengthen our brand voice on social media. I'm really excited to start rolling out all of that I've been working on in the past month with this plan. it's a perfect time as we're getting in the fall season and peak colors in just a couple weeks. And so if you're not already following us at Visit Abingdon VA, make sure you are. And without further ado, I'll turn it over to Adam.
Thank you, Ms. Linkus.
Hey, I am going to give you a little update on events and how we have done them in the past and how we're hoping to do them in the future. So next slide, please. In our past, our events kind of felt disconnected with no identity, and they weren't necessarily community-based or felt connection with the community and the Abingdon brand. And a lot of times you'd hear we just need something that's happening, something that's going on, and there was nothing that was really substantial about the event that made it unique to Abingdon. And then a lot of times events would pull away from other businesses, and other businesses were trying to have their own thing, and then a town event would take away from that and pull people from different areas. So next slide, please. So now, currently, we're changing a lot of those things. We would like events to tell our story and showcase our local culture, focus on experience over activity, and have strong partnerships with the businesses, nonprofits, other towns, and the volunteers. And so this is an example of a few of them. This is from the Soapbox Derby. This business had been telling us they needed something that to bring in more customers over in that little area that they're in, and it just so happened that was a good hill for the Soapbox Derby. And it turned out that this is a post that says, our view from Boho Collective today, the very first annual Soapbox Derby. We're loving the energy, community, and fun right outside the door. And so they actually had a really good day business-wise. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. That was not our intention to do that, but it is now, and it will be in the future. So this is also a White Birch. They did a theme, a cocktail and lunch theme for the Soapbox Derby. So that's the type of partnership we're looking for going forward. And next slide, please. Changing the way we think about experience and events. If we build a strong community, people will come to this community, and it will show that we've got something going on, and that in exchange promotes tourism from different regions. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So from just events to community identity and experience, isolated planning to partnership and storytelling, and isolated planning to, oh, I hit that twice. Oh, well.
A lot of planning.
Yeah, so community being the roots, tourism being the fun, treehouse up at the top, and that is what we're looking for. And next slide, please. Just to use that as an example, we've got the Main Street Trick or Treat coming up, where we invite businesses to hand out candy to thousands of children and their parents. And at Fields Pen, we have a footprint in town, and if there's no, if your business lies outside of the footprint, more than welcome to come to Fields Pen House and hand out candy there. So
What's the date on that?
that is October 25th.
October 25th.
4 to 6:30.
October 25th, 4 to 6:30.
And I'll hand it off to Diana again.
Again, thank you for being there, being here. We're being here. Thanks for having us. Do you have any questions?
Don't have any questions, but one thing that I just want to say to everyone that works in the tourist department, thank you all for everything you all do. This town thrives on tourism. And, you know, I think with Miss Linkus on board now, Adam and you, Miss Blackburn, I think that we're headed in the right direction. But I just want you all to know, thank you all for everything that y'all do for the town, promoting this town, promoting the restaurants in town, promoting everything that you do for the town of Abingdon. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Did a good
If
job.
I can just say, so while they have not been with the town a long time, they have decent experience in the tourism industry.
Yeah.
And Ashley understands the
Thank you.
media shorts and photography and all. She's got great skill sets in that area, and a lot of experience with the short videos in her previous employment and a proven track record. And we all know Adam. He's been around a while. Picking.
30A or whatever that one was.
Yeah, picking. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Adam's been picking grapes and writing songs. So yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you all. Next on the new business agenda, we've got discussion regarding proposed change to Chapter 18, Business, Article 6, Peddlers and Vendors. Mike Cochran, I'm going to turn this over to you as well again.
Yes, thank you. That was a month or so ago, we had one of the companies was trying to sell a product in town. They went through, followed our current ordinance, and they were able to obtain, peddler's permit for 30 days. And actually prior to that, the police chief had a knock at his door, and I think we've all had this situation. I had one on Labor Day at my house. Labor Day? What was the one we just had? It was Labor Day. It was Labor Day at 5 p.m. or whatever. And they knock at your door, and they always want to flim-flam it, and they're never straight with what they're trying to tell you. It's always, oh, I applied for the permit or whatever. And so one of the things that we did, I think the chief had posted it online that, hey, we did issue the permit for these 3, and we've been overloaded with people trying to get permits to go door to door. And one of the things that I've gotten feedback from is I don't know that anybody likes getting disturbed at their home from direct sales. It's, if someone wants to buy something, you can call a salesperson to your house or something like that. But when it comes to just having someone randomly knock at your door, it's just never something that people say, oh, wow, this is great. I get to listen to a sales pitch. And then one of the things that concerned me is we have a lot of folks with a lot of life experience and an older population, and they tend to be more trusting and susceptible to getting, like I know a story of one 71-year-old that signed for 25 years of solar panels. So when they're 96, they'll get discounted electric. It's just, sometimes those sales are not something that people want going to their door. And so when many years ago, I had passed an ordinance where I worked where it restricted the door-to-door soliciting in a similar fashion, with the exception that they're allowed by religious canvassing is permitted, and so is political canvassing. But other than that, it was to restrict it greatly, just because it's just not something in today's world that is normal anymore. It's just, I don't know. I think we've all had experiences with people knocking on our door and gotten complaints, and I know the chief had some input on the topic if you wanted to hear from him on it. But basically, I wanted to find out before we put it in ordinance form as to just get to see if there's any, what y'all's thoughts on it were.
I really think that, this is a thing of the past. Maybe like in the 80s, people were doing this, but, 2025. I'm in agreement with this. I don't like the door-to-door. We have a lot of elderly people in our community that can be overtaken, with people knocking on the doors. It's also a good way for someone to come into, someone that's in a little bit older, to come in and case their place, to come back later on and maybe cause damage, harm to their family or to something that they've got going on. So I'm all in favor of this proposed change to this Chapter 18. I have no problems with that. There's lots of other ways that people can get their businesses out nowadays besides knocking on doors.
Yeah, and this is, just be clear, this is just, this is a blend of 2 ordinances, but if the will of council is to go ahead and put it in ordinance form, we can go ahead and do that. I just wanted to gauge everybody before.
Just out of curiosity, does this limit the children from selling their
No, it doesn't.
things?
Yeah,
Girl
we
Scout stuff like that. I don't think
Yeah.
we talked about this.
Because I personally, those are the only ones I enjoy see coming.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Trying to sell me
And
tickets or whatever.
that was the thing, is I would like to craft it so there are limited exceptions, because like I buy probably 3 of those Falcon discount books each year, and I think I might get one free sub out of the deal.
I just don't want to put those kids in a bad place.
And that's something, Derek, that me and Mike talked about, and I should have said something about that. I apologize, but thank you for bringing that up.
I thought that was the case. I just want to make sure everybody heard it.
And so that would be the limited exception for those things. And anymore, a lot of times.
That would be under the charitable.
Yeah,
Just making sure.
a lot of times the groups that do that don't want the kids going door to door unless they have a parent with them or something like that. But again, it's the whole idea is, like, we sign off before we do permits for these folks. They have to submit a list of who they are, and I mean, almost never are they from here. They're almost always from places far and wide, and we just don't know who they are. And just we don't get calls and complaints about much. We got lightning rod complaints about this, and it's just one of the ones where I think before it gets out of hand, because in the last month we've had requests from, well, more cable, and then we had, what else were they?
Vacuum cleaner.
Oh, vacuum cleaners, because everybody needs a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot of times these the sales things they just aren't welcomed by the residents. And again, if you want to buy a vacuum, you can certainly call somebody and have them come to your door and sell you one. But I don't know that the random door knocking is something that would be appreciated.
Well, if you're just looking for consensus, I'm in favor.
Okay.
Do we need to make a motion, Cam, for this? Okay.
I just wanted to get the pulse before we move forward.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm in favor.
All right. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Alston?
I'm very much in favor of that, yes.
All right.
All right.
So with that, we're going to move on to the next thing on our agenda, which is old business. We have nothing for old business today. We've got next on our agenda, miscellaneous business and communications from our town manager, Mike Cochran. We're going to turn this over. The first is a discussion regarding the graffiti program.
Yes, so in Avenue, we're extremely blessed. We have very, very little graffiti. And on occasion, we get hit, and we get hit a lot. And discussing this with the police chief, one of the things that is enticing sometimes is to get rid of the stuff right away, but also is to identify the culprits. Because a lot of times it's just one or two rotten apples that will cause the issue. And in my experience, when you get a following or you get something trendy online, people will get the message and then maybe they'll go somewhere else. But one of the discussions with him is in other areas that I've worked, they use like Crime Stopper type programs. Now, there's not one of those in this area, but the discussion would be to offer some sort of incentive. And one of because with the media stuff that Ashley was talking about, but if you did like a little program with snitches get riches, if someone wants to dime somebody out for, you could make some funny videos. But the idea, yeah. But so the idea would be is to put out a couple of videos and help encourage people to get rich by turning people in if they know who's doing it. Because when we see it, we immediately go out and abate it. They painted over today at the one behind the gas station down by exit 14.
I was going to ask, excuse me for interrupting.
Yeah.
How many times has this happened in town?
Very little.
Very little.
Except very little, a couple times a year maybe, and we typically get rid of it right away. But in this particular one, he's the one that hit the underpass at exit 14 for that DOT fix for us right away. And then this building, because it took us time to, we had to give him a little bit of time to paint it. But I went to a meeting today at 2 or 1 o'clock and it was not painted, and I came out at 3 and it was. So,
all right.
I mean, they were able to get to it. But the whole idea is that if people know that someone's going to dime them out if they get caught, then they're less inclined to do it.
I think that's a good idea.
And so what I would need is, is there a resolution in there?
No.
Oh,
this
okay,
was
I'm
just
sorry.
for you to talk about.
Yeah, the whole idea would be is that there's to see if that would be a will, if we could appropriate $1,000, whatever, then put up like $100 if someone. The whole idea is to encourage people to not do it here.
Yeah.
Because graffiti is one of the most, I personally find it offensive, but it's an indicator that people aren't paying attention to the details.
Exactly.
And Abington's all about the details.
Yes, sir, we are.
So, and when I was at the playground the other day, Kyle and I went out to the skate park, the metal things, and when we were out there with the Boy Scouts at the last day of service, I painted over that with a couple kids and painted it blue. And then some kids went out the other day and put some interesting artwork on there. But the sad thing is while we were doing the playground build, I saw a family out there with little kids. And what I saw out there as far as artwork, little kids don't need to see.
Yeah.
And so the more we can just let people know that we don't appreciate it, and if people think they're going to get dined out by their friends, because when little kids do stuff like that, other people know.
Yes, sir.
And we want to be able to catch them. I think, do you have anything you want to chime in? This is John Holbrook, our police chief.
Yeah. State your name and your address. Welcome to Avenue. You're in Avenue now, bro. Yes, sir.
And when you're going door to door, the Chief's house, probably not the first one. When you don't have a permit. Yeah. With the graffiti, no, this would be a way for us to entice people to come forward a little bit, give us a tip so that we can see who's doing spray painting and, of course, prosecute from there. I've recently talked to a business owner who owns a lot of properties throughout town, and he's been a victim a couple times, and one of his tenants wants to move out because they got some spray paint on their trailers. And we don't want that.
Yeah.
And we want to, if we can't prevent it, we want to solve it. And this would give us another little tool to put in our tool belt to get out there and help the community, help us figure out who's doing this and who's damaging our property and spray painting some of these things. So this would just give us another little edge that would be very helpful and beneficial.
I think this is a wonderful idea. I don't know how the rest of the council feels about this.
Do you need a consensus? What do you need, Mike?
Yeah, it was just,
Is that something we could take out of council contingency, or?
yeah, it was
I mean, as you're describing it, I think
Yeah.
it's probably something that the town manager could do
Okay.
on his own.
Okay.
I don't know how you guys feel about it, but
Yep.
as long as there is consensus and
Yep.
you have the ability to do those things through the chief's budget or however.
yeah, he's got a lot of line items, yeah. Yeah.
Or just administration budget generally, but it's up to you guys.
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor of that. Amanda?
Sure.
Yes.
Wayne? All right.
All right, thanks. Yeah, and it's one of those ones where, I think the publicity and would certainly help make it happen. Because it really is frustrating for the business owners at all. It's just, and no one wants to see that. So, well, thank you for that. And did IT in the back? Did they do you have that video queued up by chance? I wanted to show the on the on the Parks and Rec website, they have the playground build, and I didn't learn this till today. But if you go in the in the far corner when you log into this screen, you can see the time lapse. You can see by day, and then you can see from the beginning till now. So if you play, it's only like 15 seconds, but it's really cool. But it's on their website, and it goes just a little bit. You get to see it each day, and you also can see the wet because we got wet a few days. But it really is. It's pretty darn cool. And then if you click on the left-hand side, you'll be able to pick which day you want to see. It really is neat stuff. So what we're working on is when it's done. So the fall surface goes in starting later this week. I think the 5th is. They were supposed to be here today, but they had a delay. The 5th, and then that'll go in. It's going to take a little bit of time to get that put in. And then we'll schedule a grand opening and all. But it's just going to be magnificent for the community. The kids are going to absolutely love it. And
I've got kids asking me right now, when is this
Yeah,
going to be open?
well,
And when is open for business?
And the fall surface, if you've been to the Meadows, we have the brown stuff that's underneath, and that's called poured in play, and that's just a solid. I mean, it's literally poured and then they smooth it out. What we're getting are similar to the carpet squares. They're 9 inches deep and they're rubberized, and so they're going to come in and smooth everything out. So the playground is a community build, but the installation of the rubber stuff is someone else doing the labor. Thank goodness, because our staff is very good, but they're also very tired, and they also have other work to get done. So, with that said, that is coming, and we'll let everybody know about that. But so that video will actually be there for people to see in the long run, because we've had multiple families out there when we're doing the build, and they're like, oh, we were here with our grandkids and all that stuff. So it's neat. And I've also we've had several drone videos we put up, but we put up one on yesterday, and it's at 20,000 views already, which is pretty crazy for a small town for that many people to be interested in how our playground build is coming. But we're really looking forward to it. The kids are going to be so excited. So, and it'll just make Abington a really awesome place. But our public works has really, and other town staff and recreation. We had some guy looking to see if he could take a time off to go weed eating today. Cause we have a great staff, but yeah, they are looking forward to getting back to their regular duties. But that's all I had. Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is going to be council members' reports. And if it's all right, I'll go ahead and start first, and then we'll move down if that's okay. First of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to everyone who helped, volunteers, construction crews. I don't have the names of everyone that was there participating with the rebuild of the playground, but I want everyone to know that was out there, you know, old, young, corporation, skilled, unskilled. Thank you for everything that you all did to put forth the effort to help us making this playground a success. Number one, thanks to everyone. Two, I would like to talk about the new tennis courts up at the high school. The day we were there, Donna, Amanda, and Mike Cochran were present. That was a very nice day, a really nice collab with the town, the school board, and the county as well. From the people who were there, most of them were parents of kids that are still on the tennis team. This is a big excitement for them that we now have a home court. We don't have to go to the country club to practice. We don't have to go to Emory and Henry anymore. There's no partner up with your kid and my kid riding together, and we got to get permission slips. It's the simple bell ring, go outside, practice tennis, play tennis. So big ups to the town council here, the town mayor, the school board, and the county commissioner people as well too. Next on the agenda, I was just going to give a shout out. The fire chief is not here today. Saturday, October the 11th, it's going to be an open house at the fire department from 10 until 2. They'll be doing hot dogs there as well. I think that's something that if anyone doesn't have anything to do, reach out and maybe come out and help support the Abingdon Fire Department. We had the Yeti race in town last week. Big ups to the Yeti. That brought lots of people to the town of Abingdon. I know the restaurants were excited about the Yeti race. I know the hotels were excited about the Yeti race. This is just something that comes to the town of Abingdon, and it helps generate money in the town of Abingdon. So I think the gentleman's name is Jason Green. Thank you, Jason, for letting Abingdon be a part of the Yeti race. And then this is going to be a big shout out to Chief Holbrook. I don't know how other towns operate or their systems, but last Friday I was off at work. I have an employee at Dwayne and Company who locked their keys in their car and they were stuck at CVS. They called me to problem shoot to see where I could go about getting their keys out of their car, and the first thing that came to my mind was Chief Holbrook. It was probably maybe 10 or 15 after 5 o'clock. Chief was on his way home. I called him on his personal cell phone, told him the problem. Within 45 minutes, Chief had my employees' keys out of the car and her on her way back home. You don't really see that a whole lot in big cities. In the small town here, like I said, I love this community. And it's people like Chief Holbrook that I stand beside in this community to say thank you for everything that you do for not only me, for everyone in this community. I really appreciate that. And the lady that you helped out, she does live in the county, but she had no other person, no one to call. She didn't know who to reach out to. And I just want to say thank you, Chief, for everything you do for everyone in this community and this town as well. I'm going to pass it on to...
I don't have anything additional.
One last bit, Chris Bell, the town manager over there in Damascus, he let me know that they anticipate 8 to 10 shuttles running every 45 minutes this Saturday and for most of October. Because of the fall foliage, their reservations are way up. So we've made some adjustments at our parking lot and whatnot, but just expect to see more folks in town on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Just one quick thing I wanted to mention. So I have been solicited by a couple of sports teams at the high school, and it's no secret that we've got a couple of dynasties in the making. One was the golf team, the other's the running program, and many others. But one of the coaches reached out to me, and I think maybe reached out to Miss Pillion as well, about getting some sort of signage on both sides of town that would recognize the state championship teams that we've had, and we've had quite a few. So while it was on my mind, I just wanted to mention it in front of the rest of the council. And it may be, since we're doing the wayfind signage as well, it may be a good time to sort of try to incorporate that so that it all matches and looks appropriate. But before I forgot it, I wanted to mention that
I
in
think
front
that's
of
a
the rest of the
wonderful
council.
idea, Derek.
I do too.
I think that's a great idea.
They had mentioned, I think it was maybe Kingsport has a similar setup going into and out of town of their state
I know
championships.
Whitwell has
So-
that too. There's
So
several,
I thought it
several
would,
small towns
we've
that
got
have
lots
that.
to celebrate, so I thought maybe that would be a good gesture.
Yeah, I've seen them before. I'll see what we can do.
Yeah, since we're, revamping the signage anyways, I thought maybe it'd be a good time to consider
sure.
that as well.
Thank you, Derek.
Yeah.
Of course.
And our chance to get to live in Abingdon.
That's it.
And one other thing, I'm just gonna mock what Adam Bolt said. October the 25th, from 4 to 6 p.m., the town trick or treat. That's a big turnout for us. I know we've been doing this for what? This will be the third year?
I think so, yeah.
This will be the third year. The second year succeeded the first year, so I want the third year to be even more special. So if anyone doesn't have anything to do, October the 25th, from 4 till 6:30, will be the town trick or treat. So I'd like to invite everyone to come out for that. So I guess that we'll move on to the next thing on the agenda, and it's going to be appointments to boards and committees. I looked at this earlier myself. I don't know if you all had a chance to look at this. I don't know if this is something that we need to go into closed session about.
I think since it's all reappointments.
It's all
Kim,
reappointments.
you notified them, right? All of them.
And I feel comfortable with Dickie Kaiser. I feel comfortable with Odie Dudley. And I feel comfortable with Donna Marie. And I feel comfortable with the Chris, I don't know if I'm, Mimrick. I feel comfortable with those people returning. So I don't know if we should go one by one and talk about this, or if we should go closed session, or if we could just say, if I could have someone make a,
If it's appropriate, I'd make a motion just to reappoint all 4 of them at one time.
any further discussion? Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Ms. Killian.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye.
And Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
And I wanted to add something in council member reports real quick.
I'm
that-
sorry,
No,
Amanda.
no.
I'm sorry.
No. I said I didn't have anything to
Oh.
add, and then something has just been brought to my attention. So
All
I'm
right.
throwing it in. You didn't
Yes,
skip me, you're
ma'am. I'm
fine.
sorry.
There is a drug take back at Food City Pharmacy on October 25th, and people can turn in old pharmaceuticals that they no longer need.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and this is probably the 10th year in a row that we've participated. It's a huge turnout. They'll take anything, pretty
And
much.
it's not good to flush these things, correct?
Correct,
It's
yeah.
bad for our water
They
supply.
have specific devices in which you can put your tablets and dispose all at one time. They'll take whatever you have in hand. They set up a nice little kiosk outside the store, and staff it with sheriffs and police officers. So yeah, it's a great turnout.
And what's the date again?
October 25th.
Yes.
Thank you, Amanda. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday. It's almost
Saturday.
always a Saturday.
All right.
It'd be a trick or treat.
Yeah, you could drop your pills and.
Oh,
No, but that is a concern for people, if somebody's been ill and you have somebody who's been ill in your household and you have a lot of pain medication.
Sure.
There are people, especially elderly people, that are concerned about having that in their house, so it's good to know what to do with that medicine if you don't need it,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And with that being said, I will call tonight's meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Good.